This is the AEW Dynamite January 1st, 2025 full show results video which takes place at Harrah's Cherokee Center in Asheville, North Carolina. Jon Moxley cuts a fiery promo in front of his Death Rider soldiers, vowing to destroy the AEW World Championship, still hidden in a briefcase. He acknowledges Adam Copeland, stating, "I know exactly what he's about," as clips of their interaction at AEW World's End 2024 and their upcoming trios match tonight play. We then shift backstage to Rated FTR, dressed in matching t-shirts in Asheville, North Carolina. Adam Copeland, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler each speak in turn. Copeland mentions seeing fear in Moxley at World's End, adding that tonight will be fun, and Harwood wraps it up with, "Rated FTR out." Then we saw a match between Hangman Adam Page vs Orange Cassidy. Cassidy takes a breather in the ropes and bails to the floor. Back in, folding press for two, big elbows, but Page is unbowed. Dive, throwing Cassidy into the barricade, back on the apron, and again Orange rolls away from Buckshot. In the end, Orange punch reversed, second try connects, and a second Orange punch lays Page out. To the apron, a third Orange punch, but he stays on his feet and hits a Buckshot finisher to defeat Orange Cassidy by pinfall. Post-match, Hanger takes Cassidy down for grounded punches and hits Deadeye for good measure. He holds onto the clutch and stands back up to hit Deadeye a second time. Christopher Daniels comes to the ring to lecture Page, but Adam cuts him off and beats him down too. Backstage, Switchblade Jay White cuts a promo about how he had a plan to become AEW World Champion, but Wheeler Yuta played spoiler and cost him the moment, and that makes him feel words won't do it justice, but he'll show Yuta over and over just how he feels, and he still has a path to Moxley through the Casino Gauntlet next week. The Acclaimed get an inside promo where Max Caster talks himself up and Anthony Bowen shuts him up and demands to know if he hit him on purpose to cost him the match against Chris Jericho. Caster says of course he didn't do it on purpose, and he asks Anthony to cut the funny stuff tonight. Then we saw a match between Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, versus the Acclaimed, Anthony Bowens and Platinum Max Caster. Lashley and Caster to start, Bob just destroying Max out the gates, choking him in the corner, chucking him across the ring with a belly-to-belly suplex to the delight of Shelton Benjamin. Shoulder blocks in the corner, walking Armageddon living up to his name, back elbow from Caster, and Lashley clotheslines him to the floor and tags Benjamin in. Bowens gets the tag as well and holds his own against Shelton, laying kicks in, Caster wants back in and Anthony obliges him, and of course, Benjamin destroys him, rising knee, tag to Lashley, off the ropes with the spear. Big high-angle chokeslam, Bobby posing for the crowd before pulling him up, and then applied Hurt Lock on Max Caster to win the match by submission. Shane Swerve Strickland is interviewed backstage, and he says he hears M and he has to apologize for the people who scream his name for getting distracted the last few weeks, but tonight he gets back to what he's best at and shows everyone why 2024 was Swerve's. Prince Nana wishes us all a happy new year. Ah, that's sweet of him. The next match happened between Jamie Hayter versus Julia Hart. Hayter with elbows into the ropes, whip across, charging in, corner lariats, action to the floor, and Hart slams her into the steel steps. Back from the commercial, Hayter with elbows and a kick, grounded punches, hatebreaker, slow to capitalize, but Julia kicks out. Julia with a cover off a trip, Heartless locked in, Jamie kicks her way to momentum to get to her feet, marching her around the ring, but she can't free herself. Hart keeps the hold locked in, Hayter hosses her up into an Ushigoroshi, sliding lariat, back and forth, Hart spits the mist with the referee distracted, and Julia Hart defeated Jamie Hayter by pinfall with the Black Mist. Then we get a recap of Kazuchika Okada winning the Continental Classic and Kenny Omega making his return to present him his title. Okada cuts a promo about being the best tournament wrestler alive and tells Will Ospreay it was a nice try and Kenny Omega that he should stay out of his business, bitch. Mercedes Moné makes her entrance and she gets on the mic and puts herself over and tosses to a video package for all of us and wishes herself a happy new year. The video package, predictably, is about how great she is, and she says if you thought 2024 was money, just wait until you see what she does this year. The first stop on the money train is this Sunday in Japan when she puts her NJPW Strong Women's Championship on the line against Mina Shirakawa, and Mina has the Rev Pro title she wants, so she'll be coming for that, too. Alex Marvez interviews the Undisputed Kingdom backstage, and Adam Cole says this feels damn good and 2025 will be their year. Kyle O'Reilly agrees, saying they have every kind of match covered, and Roderick Strong talks about winning tonight's match and the #1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match. The next match happened between Switchblade Jay White versus Roderick Strong versus Shane Swerve Strickland, and the winner gets the #1 spot in next week's Casino Gauntlet match. In the end, Swerve hits a penalty kick to Jay White outside the ring and Swerve out on the floor. Ricochet is here and he spikes him in the forehead with golden scissors. Roddy throws White back into the ring, switches just a step faster, and hits a Blade Runner to win the match, and earning the #1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet #1 Contenders match next week. Post-match, Ricochet jumps the barricade, Swerve is wearing the crimson mask, Prince Nana tries to get in front of him but Rick scares him off with the scissors. Gouging Strickland's forehead with the point of the scissors, punches and headbutts, Nana tries to save his pal but Ricochet throws him into the steps and beats him with a chair. Rick sets the chair up in the ring and sits in front of Shane for a beat before getting back up and headbutting him a few more times, sitting Swerve in the chair, hits a spear gun. Undisputed Kingdom make the save and Ricochet backs off, laughing and rubbing his hands together before retrieving his scissors. He leaves through the crowd as Undisputed check on Swerve and medics arrive. Alex Marvez interviews Jeff Jarrett's friends and they haven't been able to get a hold of him either. Double J rolls up and says it's a big night and he asks if they've seen Karen. They ask if he's sure but whatever he's planning they support him 100%, they just want him to be sure. Before he can answer, Karen rolls up and she says she needed a minute and this business brought them together but it's almost completely broken them sometimes. What he wants, she wants, and they're unbreakable together and she gives him his boots and he walks off. Mariah May cuts a promo backstage and she's done saying bad things about the women's division. It's great and why? Because she had more matches last year than any other woman, and none of the others even cracked the top 10. She's standing on all their necks and if they want even a chance to breathe again, they'll have to work for it. Jeff Jarrett makes his entrance, his guitar waiting for him on a stand in the ring and he gets started by wishing us a slappy new year and he wants to get right down to business. Over the last few days he's been trying to put the words together with emotions washing over him. The first emotion is gratitude, and he's got so much to be thankful for in his career, and it's sad for him to start thinking about things coming to an end, but when he started thinking of an ending, he thought about how it began. For the Jarrett family, it started in 1946 in Nashville when his grandmother took a second job selling wrestling tickets and that changed his father's life and his whole family's life, and she became the CFO of the Tennessee Territory. And then his dad got into the business, promoting shows and wrestling and becoming so popular he got a chance to buy the promotion. And after a lot of high-risk, high-reward divisions, he promoted in Tennessee for 40 years and then in 1986, against his family's wishes, Double J dropped out of college to start his pro wrestling career. And he could go on and on about these high-risk, high-reward decisions, but he's got just one more. In 2002, he bet on himself and launched his own promotion, TNA Chance Ring Out, and in his opinion, that promotion has produced some of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time and that brings him to tonight, he says as he picks his boots up off the canvas and no, Chance Ring Out. As a 12-time heavyweight champion and a 2-time Hall of Famer he asks himself if he should just ride off into the sunset, and the answer is hell no because the thought that keeps going through his mind is, Jeff, when you take the biggest risk, you get the biggest reward, so he's here to announce he signed his very last pro wrestling talent contract. He's resigned with AEW because he wants one more ride, and not just any ride, he was AEW Gold and he's not talking trios or tag belts, he's talking about the biggest risk of his career, and hell yeah he could fall flat on his face, next week there's a gauntlet, put his ass in it. January 1st, 2025, the Last Outlaw's New Year's resolution is that he wants to become the AEW World Champion. Hook cuts a promo about finishing what he started with Christian Cage and choking his ass out. Then we saw a handicap match between John Cruz and Rob Killjoy versus Powerhouse Will Hobbs, and the result of this match was Will Hobbs won the match by pinfall, stacking both guys on top of each other. Alex Marvez interviews Big Bill and Brian Keith and they say this place is alright but Chris Jericho ain't coming here, and they call Rated FTR out, saying he doesn't know if they should be more ashamed for being proud of Asheville or Asheville more ashamed for being proud of them. They need to be taken down a branch or two, and Keith calls M-Rated our dumbass. Adam Copeland says he's not a bad apple, he's like a tumbleweed, and Bill's face is stupid, so he challenges the Learning Tree to a trios match on Saturday. In the main event of the show, we saw a match between Death Riders versus Rated FTR, and the result of this match was Rated FTR defeated Death Riders by pinfall with a spear from Adam Copeland on Wheeler Yuta. Rated FTR celebrates, and the